So we'll just look at the basics of lenses today. We're just going to talk about two different types of lens and then some rules for some rays going through them, some light rays going through them. So how do lenses work? Well, they work by refracting light. Okay, and you can see that some of the lens is thicker than other bits of the lens. So the top bit is thinner than the middle bit. So let's just talk about some of the differences. Now, I've drawn the lens side-on profile view like that, and I've just drawn a dashed line through the middle of it. Okay, that is our axis. I've also drawn an orange dot. Okay, and the orange dot is going to represent our principal focus. Okay, so if I've got light rays coming from this direction towards the lens this way, then our principal focus for a convex lens is going to be here. Okay, where the orange dot is. Now, for a concave lens, if I've got light coming in this way, then our principal focus is no longer going to be on the right hand side of the lens. It's going to be on the same side of the lens as the light rays. Okay, so let's draw that in. Okay, so let's talk about some of the rules regarding rays entering these lenses. Okay, so the first rule for a convex lens, the first rule is if you've got light rays entering parallel to the axis, like this, so if I've got a light ray entering parallel to the axis, it will always emerge and then go straight through the principal focus, like so. Okay, so it'll always emerge and it will go through the principal focus. It doesn't actually matter where the light ray hits the lens, as long as it's parallel to the axis, it will always emerge and go through the principal focus. Okay, so all of these light rays will emerge and go through the principal focus like that. Okay, so rays entering the lens parallel to the axis will always go through the principal focus. Okay, so rays entering a lens parallel to the axis will always go through the principal focus. So let's have a look at the second rule then. The second rule is that any rays that go through the middle point of the lens, right in the middle there, will always continue going without being refracted. Okay, so it'll just keep going straight through like that. Any rays that go through the middle will do that. Okay. Okay, so just one more rule as well. If I put another focus on this side of the lens here, so if I put another focal point there, the same distance between this focal point and the lens and this focal point and the lens. If I send a ray through this focal point, like so, and it hits the lens, it will emerge parallel. Okay, so it's the same thing as the first rule, except in reverse. If a ray passes through the focus on this side of the lens, then it will emerge parallel out the other side. Okay. It's pretty much the same for a concave lens, except there's just one difference. Like if the second rule is the same always, if I pass a ray straight through the middle, it will keep going unobstructed. It will keep going like that. Now the difference is any rays that go through parallel to the lens has to go through the principal focus. Well, how do we make this ray go through the principal focus? Well, you can backtrace the ray. Okay, so what I would do is just do a dashed line like that, and then continue your ray this way. Okay, so let's do another one parallel to the lens, like so. If I do some dashed lines backtracing through the principal focus, then you can see you have it like it will look a little bit like this. Right, so let's do the same again for this one. Backtrace it through there. There we go. So the rays are actually diverging away from each other. So the only way you can get them to go through the principal focus on a concave lens is by backtracing the rays. Make it look as though the rays are coming out from the lens from the principal focus. Okay, and I always backtrace them using a ruler normally. I can't really do that with an iPad, but you've got to backtrace them, dash lines through back to the principal focus, and then just draw. I'll just do it one more time just to make it super clear what I'm doing. Try and make it neater this time. So if I do a ray that's parallel to the lens, like so, in order to see where this ray will continue off afterwards, I need to backtrace it through the principal focus. So it still does sort of go through the principal focus. So I'll do that and then just do that. Okay, there we go. One more, just for good measure, down here. Backtrace it, and there we go. And it diverges away from the principal focus like that. Okay, in the next video we'll look at some ray diagrams. Okay, so we'll look at simplifying these lenses and looking at ray diagrams for them using these rules. Okay, I'll see you then.